Hey everybody, this is Perch. Hey, I want to throw something out here right at the very beginning because I want to help everybody out. So, if you're probably listening to this on YouTube, well, I mean, this video is only posted on YouTube, so of course you're listening to it there. But do you hate ads? Me too. They suck. But I've been doing some experiments, and I noticed that as I try and toggle off the ads, YouTube dramatically stops promoting and pushing these videos out. Like they will stop reminding people. Over the weekend, I ran an experiment where I just turned the dial back on ads in a bunch of the videos, and everything goes down like 30%. All the views they just stop prioritizing it. They stop referencing it, which is pretty dodgy and shitty if you ask me, because the reality is I'm not doing this for money. There is not money to be had on YouTube. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is not like nobody's making a living off this. Oh, sorry, not nobody, but I am not. And I mean, you have to get way higher. Like you have to be in the million, I think, subscriber count to actually make this meaningful. I don't know. I mean, for people who are trying to get in here and you make some bucks, great. This channel, I can buy some video games off this, but I can't feed my family. So here's the key part. I have right now the longer videos, meaning things that are really over about 20 minutes or so, but the interviews, the retrospectives, and the live streams are going up on podcasting. So get out of YouTube, leave this place. I'll keep posting them here because that's what I do. But if you want to listen to something with zero ads, then head over to iTunes or Google Play or Podbean or Spotify or Pandora or wherever the hell you want. And you can get these long interviews with no interruptions in the middle and all that crap, okay? And I'm going to continue to try and fight and tune this thing. I need to find the exact perfect balance of as few ads as humanly possible, and then not have them gank my stupid traffic, which freaking sucks. So anyway, check that out if you haven't done it yet. Please, that is a perfectly great platform. No problems. Head over there. iTunes, Podbean, whatever it is, you get it. You give away some of the video because it's a podcast, but for most of these, it does not matter. You're just listening to this stuff, and I would argue better there anyway. So I am investing more and more time. I just am basically writing a check for $100 a month to put it on a really nice platform where I can get tons of distribution. So it's all for you. And then maybe at some point, if we ever want to recoup those costs, we'll do a Patreon or something. But I hate ads. I hate them. Okay, getting that out of my system. I just want to tell everybody, just go over there. That was a lot of content. Basically, what I want to talk about here is this idea of this market chasing. And I've started to draw this diagram out, but it basically goes like this. The comic book industry is looking at where things are going. They're looking at the numbers. And they are. And they're saying, hey, we need to get new people in here. We need to grow the industry. How many times have you heard that? We need to grow the industry. We need to expand it. We need to reach other audiences. But the challenge is the wording here is specific. Are you trying to grow the industry or are you trying to move the industry? Because a lot of the behavior feels more like move the industry than grow. Grow would be we take stock of the current people who are buying comics, our current base that are funding us, and we create new comics or new characters or new initiatives to grow that bubble. Whenever you're doing this in any reasonable business, you are very careful to protect the base. That's any kind of investor presentation, any company you look at, they will tell you that you've got to protect your base, because if your strategy is to grow your business, what you don't want to do is spend a lot of money, time, and effort in new customer acquisition and lose the customers you had. Then you're fighting this no-sum game of constantly you're gaining some new customers, but you're losing the old ones, and so you're not actually growing. You're moving. And to me, comics often feels like the big publishers are moving the audience rather than growing it. Why do I say this? Well, the comic audience, one thing, you got to hand it to them, whether you like it or you hate it, the comic buying audience is fairly vocal about what they like. Unlike other businesses, you do not have to search. They are pretty upfront with what they like and what they hate. And you shouldn't turn your business into this do nothing but listen to the customers, but you should be listening to your customers. You have to do other activities as well, but you should listen to your customers. So people who are telling you, hey, this is a kind of X-Men comic I like, or this kind of Batman comic I like, or the Superman comic I like. Make sure that you are producing comics that meet that need. Be very, very careful of hiring creators who are going to come in and defy expectations and, say, I know I don't give fans what they want. I give them what they need. Just those people, be careful. Don't put them on your bedrock comics. That's the audience you want to keep, preserve while you grow. But the other problem, and we've talked about it before, is, okay, if you're going to grow the audience, then your challenge is these new books, these new efforts have to go to where a new audience is. If your strategy is that we're going to continue to sell through the direct market and you're going to make these comics, but you're going to make them for a different audience, but sell them in the same place as the old audience, that's not going to work. That would be like if McDonald's was saying, hey, we want to pursue this new line of meat-free vegan products, and we're going to create a bundle where you get a Big Mac and a vegan burger in one, and that's how we're going to sell it. That would be a stupid idea because the vegan is not going to want the Big Mac, and the Big Mac's not going to want the vegan. So don't package them together in one bundle. That would be super, super dumb. It would be if Target was saying, how do I get more people buying Xbox games? I know, let's start bundling Xbox games in with PlayStations. Let's people, whenever somebody buys a PlayStation console, we're going to throw in an Xbox game. That's stupid. That is chasing, you've got an established market. Why are you, it's like the dumbest idea of all time. But when I say, I think where it falls apart with comics is that first of all, you have a very poor understanding of the market. People are shouting about it, but for whatever crazy ass reason, you see publishers, creators make these comments too, but creators are freelancers. It's more the publishers. This is the worry, or the editors or people who are staff saying things like, don't make the comics for the people who are yelling about them. Like, what are you doing? No, of course, make the comics for those people. Yes, don't make hateful, terrible comics. Of course, nobody's saying that, but just make sure that base is getting content they like. Secure the base, then grow. And when you grow, you're going to need to sell and find spots outside of the comic shop to grow into. It's not that hard. It's like one of the most aggravating parts, and you guys can't see me, but I'm like wringing my hands. Like I'm just, because it's so simple. None of this is terribly hard. How do you grow the current North America comic industry? Well, there's lots of different ideas, but the simplest, easiest one is step one. Make sure that the current base that buys your comics is well satisfied. Give them books. You're publishing more than 500 books a month. You do not need to make 500 books that all fit the exact same existing audience. But make sure, if you're Marvel, for example, that you're putting out 2 to 4 books a week that satisfy that core audience. You're putting out like 14 books a week. So you can afford 4 books, right? 4 titles. Figure out, do some market research, determine how much your average customer spends. If your average customer is spending, say, $20 a week, I think that's high, by the way, great. Figure out how many comics that makes, in current Marvel pricing, $20 a week equals like 1.5 comics. I'm joking. That's basically 4 books, okay? 3 to 4 books. Sorry, 4 to 5 books, depending on $3.99 and $4.99. 4 to 5 books. Okay, make sure that you're putting out that many that's going to satisfy the audience, and then start producing other ideas. Go for your Squirrel Girl, your Moon Girl, your whatever you want to do that's going to appeal to that new audience. Do a little bit of market testing, a little bit of focus group analysis to determine, are you making a book that's actually going to meet that audience? And then make sure you're selling that book where it belongs. Make sure you're selling that book in channels where that audience is. Make the direct market the lowest priority. If, for example, you're putting out Squirrel Girl and your thought is this is going to do well in digital, it's going to go scholastic kids in schools, and it's going to try and appeal to kids between the ages of, 8 and 14. All right. Number 1, make sure the content and the writing fits that audience. Number 2, don't try and sell it in the direct market. If you want to put copies there because you're hoping on the off chance that some parent is going to come in with their kid and they'll buy it, super, more power to you. Make it available. But don't do incentive programs around it. Don't do variant covers around it. Don't do any of this crap that doesn't meet the audiences currently consuming that. And then go strike your deal with Walmart or Target or Barnes & Noble or Scholastic or wherever it happens to be, or Amazon, to get these books. And that's how you do it. It's not that complicated of a scheme. But to the point, are we trying to grow the audience or are we trying to move the audience? It certainly looks like from the outside, and I speak as a retailer and lots of retailer friends who have never been asked by the publishers, for any kind of market analysis. So I guess they all know what they're doing because we don't get questioned about it. So it certainly looks like they're trying to move the audience, but sell it into the same pipeline. If that's the case, then what are you expecting us to do? Are you expecting us to take our stores and also move with you? Are you expecting us to start, carrying different products to appeal to this new market you're chasing? You're going to have to let us know better what that market is in that case. But otherwise, we're going to sit here trying to service the customers that are helping keep the lights on and keep rent. And if you're moving to some other market, do you want us along for the ride or not? If not, fine. That's your call. But just what is your plan here? When you don't see the comics in another market, we see them still being sold into the direct market. It just makes everybody think you don't know what you're doing. And so I go back to grow the market or move the market. I think it'd be very smart the comic industry put real effort into growing the market. That would be smart. I think moving the market is kind of dumb at this current state, unless you have a really killer place to sell those comics. But if you do, we're not seeing it. Nobody is seeing it. So that in a nutshell is where you're at. I don't think it's that complicated. I don't think it's that emotional. And I think everybody can get a little bit of what they want if we just deal with it like a business. But what do I know? Anyway, another reminder, please go check out, subscribe to the podcast and all that kind of stuff. You can get that stuff. No ads, free. Everybody loves free. I love free. Stick it to YouTube. Why not? And then if anybody has any genius ideas of how to beat the YouTube algorithm, I am all ears because I hate this stuff. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.